Sending positive vibes into the world. It's your girl, DJ K, also known as Carry Too Much For You. And I am the podcast host of Music Notes, a musician's guide to the real world. I'm still working on the title, but in the midst of working on the title, I've been using this app called Anchor.fm. It's been so helpful. It's free. There's creation tools already inside of the app to help you edit your podcast right from your phone or from your computer. It distributes to your podcast to all the major platforms like Apple's podcast and Spotify and Stitcher. You can make money with this podcast with no minimum listenership. That's right. So they're not going to go booting you off if you don't have enough people or something like that. They give you time. You know what I mean? So it's everything that you could possibly think of in one nice package. So if it sounds like something that you're interested in, go ahead and download that app. That's Anchor.fm. And I, once again, is DJ K, also known as Carry Too Much For You. And you can check me out on this station, on Anchor.fm, and on other platforms also. Thank you. Sending positive vibes into the world is your girl, DJ K, also known as Carry Too Much For You. And this is Music Notes. And I am your podcast host for this episode here. And today's episode is I Can't Cover Them All again. In the previous segment, I covered 5 songs, and in order of play, they are Strange Fruit, What a Wonderful World, Misty Blue, Yesterday, and the song Over the Rainbow. And I will be explaining the origins of the song and a little bit of the composers that were responsible for these masterpieces here. So without further ado, here we go. First song on the list is Strange Fruit. This song was originally a poem written by Abel Meeropol and published in 1937. At the time, Abel Meeropol was a school teacher, a Jewish school teacher actually, and also an activist at the time that was just seriously sick of seeing the lynching, and wrote this poem. And it was created in 1937, but it wasn't made popular until it was put to composed music in 1939 and vocalized by Billie Holiday, and then once again in 1965 by Nina Simone. Then also made a comeback in 2013 via Kanye West's Blood on the Leaves from his Yeezus album. And that was Strange Fruit. Okay, song number 2 on the list is What a Wonderful World, which was written by Bob Thiele, also known as George Douglas, and also produced by George David Weiss, but recorded by Louis Armstrong in 1967 as a single which topped the pop charts in the United Kingdom. After gaining appeal in a film called Good Morning Vietnam. It was re-released as a single in the U.S. in 1988 and rose to be number 32 on the Billboard Top 100 list. Armstrong's recording was indicted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1999, and the Concord and BMG Rights and Carlin America holds the publishing for that piece. Misty Blue was written by Bob Montgomery, although it was recorded for a whole nother artist. It was made commercially and successfully by Wilma Burks in 1966. It was recorded also by Eddie Arnold, and following by both was on the Country Western Top 5. A decade later, recorded in a different version by Dorothy Moore in 1976, and also again by Billy Joe Spears, and also again later on in the 90s by Monica, Mary J. Blige, and who else? Oh, and Gladys Knight, and not to mention a few other ones like the Concords. Next is Yesterday, which was a song composed by an English rock band called the Beatles, written by Paul McCartney and accredited by Lennon McCartney, first released in 1965, except it wasn't in the United States. This song have been pronounced to be one of the most covered song and have the most various cover versions, which at today's standing 2,200 cover versions of it. The song was voted Song of the 20th Century in 1999 by BBC Radio 2, and in 1997 was entered in the Grammy Hall of Fame. It has been performed over 7 million times. Yep. And that's the song Yesterday. And last but not least, the song Over the Rainbow, composed by Arnold Arlen, and lyrics by Yep Heinsberg, which was created in 1939 for the movie Wizard of Oz, which was sung by Judy Garland as Dorothy Gale. It has been voted the best song of the century also. And the composer also went on into writing other songs like It's Only a Paper Moon, Stormy Weather, and I Got the World on a String. And that will conclude our I Can't Cover Them All music history series. I hope I shed some light on some songs that you guys probably didn't know about. Thank you. And that concludes this episode of I Can't Cover Them All, Part 3. I hope I shed some light on some musical history there. If you enjoy these segments, please feel free to leave a comment. If you have any special requests or if you have any suggestions on any subjects that you think you would like me to cover, please feel free to leave me a comment. And I want to say thank you again. And that concludes my first season. Thank you. You could be listening to anybody else in the world, but you're listening to me. And if you weren't listening to me, I guess I'll be talking to myself, and that would suck. So, with that being said, peace, love, and hair grease.